Well, hunters and little moths alike. It's come to our attention that you all enjoyed our Welcome to Yalnam video with the merry adventures of the Healing Church. So, we've decided to make a new one. This time, we are going to delve into the origins of the Healing Church back when they were in their freshman years, with sex, blood, and rock and roll. With that being said, allow me to haphazardly spew out the contents of the final year books of Byrgenwerth, sweet Byrgenwerth.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke you broke, your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there.
Byrgenwerth was an institution offering PhDs that Oxford and Cambridge steered clear of, since they found human enlightenment through astral beings from dimension X to be a tad bit extreme. Regardless, Byrgenwerth did earn itself a fine ranking as far as academic learning hubs go. And like every other university, the students toiled away in their lecture halls as they did during their numerous make-out sessions amongst the bookshelves. Realizing that lecturing astrophysics left him very much lonely, and with the sorting hat on an exchange semester at Hogwarts, Headmaster Willem forged his own little frat pack with Lawrence, Carol, German, and Mikolash, with guest appearances by sorority member Maria, the first feminist. In between their toga parties during recess breaks, this inner circle shut down and took Darwin's theory of evolution a tad bit too seriously. Nevertheless, one too many incessant incidents of recreational drug abuse in their dormitories gave them the splendid sensation of ascension, and it dawned upon them that they somehow needed to attain a permanent high. And if interdimensional dominance was part and parcel of it, why the bloody hell not?
And therefore I am a god.
Word then came around that an unidentified swimming object had washed ashore a nearby fishing village, and that its residents were going batshit. They were becoming the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, minus everything but the mutant part. Relishing the possibility on being the first to shag an extraterrestrial, Willem and company booked the first Uber down. As far as cost was concerned, Willem had only one thing on his mind.
I will fuck you, alright? I will enter you.
Since necrophilia wasn't their forte, the frat pack resorted to collecting those piranha people-producing parasites instead. Oh, and they did discover the not-so-miscarried broodling of the fine phenomenon that was Cos. And since no adoption agency was willing to risk having a placenta shoved up their asses, they decided to examine this orphan for the good of science. Willem, of course, chose to take his own mummy issues to the next level by ordering the removal of the orphan's umbilical cord. By some unforeseen twist of fate, Willem ascertained that eyes were necessary for ascension purposes. We all know that the eye is also a phallic symbol. Willem, you dirty old man. To complement his ongoing experimentation, Willem dispatched German and Maria to test their aptitude, since they did receive straight A's for biology. And while German and Maria certainly were familiar in playing doctor and patient during their multiple appearances on Brazers, they knew tish-tosh about dissection. So, with whatever tools they could muster up, they proceeded to create a level of gore not seen since Cannibal Holocaust, by cracking open the skulls of the fish people. To search for eyes, of course. This all did prove rather unnerving and unladylike for ladylike Lady Maria, so she threw away her Akuyo and locked herself up in a clock tower. Oh, and she also discarded her Electra complex by breaking poor German's heart. She probably broke his legs too, hence the wheelchair. Rumors eventually spread of divine goblins lurking in the labyrinths beneath the cities. And since Lara Croft was too busy pursuing a career at Hollywood, recruitment of tomb prospectors commenced. Their mission was nothing short of impersonating Indiana Jones and excavating treasures that tickled the fancies of their scholarly brethren. By now, Willy Boy had teamed up with doctors Joseph Mengele and Hugo Strange to conduct further research and experimentation regarding the old ones. All this additional insight was indeed embedding exceptional effects on some of his Byrgenwerth crew. After being expelled by the dwarven smiths in Khazad-dûm for lacking a beard, Carol allowed the whisperings in her cranium to guide her in the art of rune-smithing. Of course, she did ultimately graduate and buy herself a nice condominium at Hemwick Charnel Lane. She did, however, forget applying for home insurance and ended up in debt due to her writings on the walls about voices in her head. The separatist agenda soon materialized with the discovery of a Briatus. Lawrence, aka Starscream, coveted world domination and established that going all Nosferatu on the daughter of the cosmos would certainly fulfill his arduous ambitions. Conscious of the hissy fit that Willem would throw, and wanting others to share the blame, he dragged along Mikolash and German, promising them positions of high school principal and weapons dealer respectively. Of course, he did have the common courtesy to tell his BFF Willem first. Willem's response was rather self-explanatory.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
And thus, we arrive at the Great Sundering, or as good old Redgrave calls it, the Schism. Willem persevered, and was dauntless in his search for the eldritch truth. With his board of directors dissolved, he took to subverting student-teacher relations with a freshman named Rom, the vacuous seductress. Hand in hand, and in other places, they revolutionized evolution as we know it, with breakthroughs in character design that Ubisoft and EA could only ever dream of. Having masturbatory delusions of a cameo appearance in Dark Souls for the sole purpose of a Sunday night grinder date with Quelaag, Willem successfully swayed Rom into embodying the culmination of his research, conjuring forth an experiment or rather ritual worthy of H.P. Lovecraft. Rom's metamorphosis was a blessing to behold. Unsurprisingly, this left Willem rather lonely, with only the company of Doris the Graveguard and Dickie the Doorman to join him for afternoon tea. Well, we all know how this tale was concluded, when Willem went from being first provost to first retard. Alas, I've granted you all some insight on the Byrgenwerth saga. There exists a plethora of tales that seek my pillaging. I've yet to explore the choir and the school of Mensis. And what about our favorite avian hunter of hunters? So many stories, so little time. So please, share, spread, and subscribe. Tell your friends, your parents, and even your pets. With that being said, I shall bid you all farewell. Ta-ta for now.